Hey everybody, this is Cresso. Hey, 4 weeks ago I did a video on the Kelli and the Raw about, life after life. What happens when you go into the light. I've been thinking about doing this. I wanted to add to this part. I've been thinking about it recently to share this, but my mother recently, she passed on. So it's been going through some emotions and stuff, going through a lot of conflict and feelings and stuff, and I felt split. I felt split because there's a big part of me knows that no one dies, and the other part of me feels this feeling of a loss and stuff. I felt conflicted with that, and I wanted to share that with everybody. Yeah, it's been really I've been feeling very emotional about it. It hits home because I reincarnated into this body, and I know what the you want to call it, the process is from going from one body to another body, and there's never really a loss. I had to really allow myself to feel this, to grieve. I was feeling a little impatient with myself. I was telling a friend of mine, like, it's like just having this human experience of a loss, and that seemed to be the big thing on a lot of people's mind, is just that it's the idea of letting go, and it's that's what it is. We feel, it's hard to let go. We have relation with whoever. It could be a mother, it could be a friend, whoever, and we have an attachment of what the person was, and but that's the other part of me comes in. See, I understand that no one dies, you understand, and then my human side feels a little conflicted with the idea. I've been going back and forth about it, and I'm okay now. I'm feeling okay. But I did really plan on I wanted to do a follow-up on the Kelli and the Raw about the at the light at the end of the tunnel. When I went to the hospital with my mother, when she passed on, her body, they kept her body in the room, and I was, to myself, and what I did was I meditated, and something in me, it was something in me to do this. I placed my finger in her, in her third eye, and I wanted to see her experience of her departure out of the human body. I call it the third eye sync. I saw her experience from tapping into her third eye, and I meditated it. And I saw that she did feel a relief. Wasn't aware that she did pass on, but she started having an out-of-body experience. And then there was some being that was there, but it was right by like a tunnel. It's like, it is the ultimate DMT experience, because anybody's familiar with the DMT is a fluid. It's the chemicals in your brain, and all the blood and all the chemicals in your brain concentrated on your third eye. So yeah, you started seeing, she was seeing a tunnel. The room was like it was like that, and I really meditated deeply about that, and it was amazing, and it started coming back to me about the tunnel. It's just it is a racing feeling when you go into when you leave your human body and you go into the tunnel, it is like everything starts to, like, time is not consistent. It's the same thing when I've taken my ayahuasca experience. You know, I've seen time stop and go forward and everything. Or I could command time to stop. So it was something like that. And, you know, it was amazing. I really meditated. And I'm glad that my mother, you know, she went with this being, escorted her halfway into the tunnel, and then she left. And I kept going. And as I kept focusing, when I placed my finger in her forehead and everything, right there, I was really seeing what she is seeing. And it was incredible. It was. The light. It's like everything's so rich from all your surroundings and the love, the feeling, everything. And it's just amazing. I'm glad I did this. Yeah. I was just telling my friend, I just called it the dirt I sink. I just did. Something in me to, you know, I had something in me that told me to do this, and I did. And I was talking to my mother. I was telling her that, you know, I know now. I told my mother, now you know who I am. I told her. I've been trying to tell her about my life, and you know, as coming from a different humanoid body. She was open, partially she was open, part of it she's not. And she used to tell me things about that she lived a different life. She remembered that she was she remembers her childhood from a different life, and in Canada, actually. She was in Canada. It was like in a big mansion, practicing the piano. Yeah. So she has some, you know, she knows. Sometimes she plays it like she doesn't, not open to the idea of reincarnation. But I was telling her my reincarnation is a little bit, it's the same, but the difference with me is that I came from an entirely different humanoid race. I didn't, you know, I wasn't a human before, obviously. I was trying to explain that to her, but she was open sometimes she wasn't. So yeah, that was it. I tapped into her third eye, and I saw what she experienced. She did saw me, and she did saw everybody. I used my imagination to really focus on a lot, and all these things are possible. I really enjoy just the experience. I was, you know, sad. You know, I had to allow myself to feel sad. You know, I had to allow myself to be patient. You know, but yeah, I just want to say, whatever experience. Before I go on, I just want to add more to this. My mother, you know, she decides to be in a spirit. She hasn't decided whether she's going to be in a human form again, or what dimension she's going to be in. But she is in the spirit world, and I just want to you know, mention that. You know, I just want to say this to everybody. It's definitely ego when we have a hard time letting go. You know, you have to really put this in perspective, okay? There is no loss. There's never a loss, okay? Anybody, if you go into an experience after your human experience, and remember is that you're the only one, okay, that selects what type of time space that you want to go into, okay? All right. I am living proof, okay, whether you take my words or not. I am living proof that I've chosen my human experience, this body, this particular place, and yeah, you know, I don't remember or ever recalling that I was a slave into some sort of entity. So, you know, it was interesting to hear what Kelli and Aurora have to say about don't go into the light. But yeah, a lot of stuff I feel like she's saying is kind of like a fear base. It's not just, I just want to say, it's not just with her. But you know, everyone, you all have to understand that there's really nothing separate from you. There, you know, if there's something that's trying to do something to you, you just really think about what consciousness is. Okay, so I know it's been windy here in New York City. I'm in Central Park, by the way, and it's a nice day out, but it's been kind of windy. I was debating if I should record today or not, but remember, everybody, there's really nothing separate from you. Okay, I know it plays like there's a separate entity from you, but actuality, everything's connected. Okay, you know, consciousness cannot slave itself. You could go on an experience to be a slave, but you know, if you really think about it, it's like you're doing it to yourself. Yeah, I just want to really mention that it's quite simple. I know a lot of us were drawn to drama, and we I don't want to say all humans, but I just want to say a lot of people like this feeling of something to do something to you, or something or someone to enslave you. Okay, all right. I did a clip. I've been doing some clips lately, and yeah, I think it seems like a lot of people like this. And I don't want to go too far off the topic, but I just got to call out certain things for what it is. A lot of us, we really like this idea. Not all of us, but we like this idea of either there's some beings that grab your spirit and put you back into a slave camp, which is Earth, or we have FEMA. We have that's planting camps, doing preparation, and then we got all kinds of stuff going on in this world. And we seem to be drawn into that stuff. It is definitely an experience of itself, you know. And it really, when you see yourself looking above these ideas, and you know who you are, and you're not afraid, and you live your life in your highest joy, I will say that really takes balls. Okay, it does take balls. Life is infinite. Okay, I always say that. And yeah, I definitely want to express that. There is no loss, everybody. I know, you know, if you find yourself grieving for somebody, you know, allow yourself. If you want to grieve, you know, go ahead. You know, I was going through a lot of conflict. The spirit of Crest was conflicted with the whole spirit of this body. You know, it's because I reconnected to different things. Ayahuasca played a part into different knowledge about this realm and the universe beyond. But there's other stuff that's been going on with me that I reconnected to everything. So I'm not caught into limiting thinking or ideas and stuff, and like, oh shit, you know, what's gonna happen to me and blah blah blah. I got past that. It served a purpose. I felt trapped in this world for quite some time, but then when I realized that I placed myself in this world, it changes everything. You know, it just changes everything. And yeah, so I am God. You know, I am God living a human experience. Okay, and we're all God, whatever you want to call God, source of life, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, you know, if you want to, whatever your path we choose, and if it's something blissful, great. If it's something chaotic, great. You know, hey, you're getting something out of whatever you go through, you're getting something out of it. I just want to do this clip on a follow-up that I did 4 weeks ago. But as far as my mother, you know, I communicate with a being, some mother-like. I consider her as a mother, but I don't call her mother. I meditate, talk to her, and you know, she's in a different realm as my mother. Even though we're all consciousness. You know, speaking about that. You know, everybody, because you live many lives, it's interesting, you know. You have a lot of mothers. You do. A lot. there is really no number. There's none. Life is a fractal. I mean, a mother is like, you know, the idea of birth. We think we give birth to someone that it's that she gave you life. No, it's you want to talk about on a physical part. Yeah, let me just put it this way. When a woman gives birth, okay, and I'm going to focus a little bit on fractal before I close out, okay? Again, think about fractals, what fractals are. It's just that she is playing a part of life, period. It doesn't mean your mother's over you or anything like that. I think a lot of people, we get this thing about mother, we put mother as a god. No. It's God, what you want to call consciousness, is extended itself. You understand? Or extend or expansion. It just keeps going and going. Alright? There's no layer of a fractal is above another fractal. It's all connected. You understand? And but when we get into this, when a lot of parents get into this authority state, it's because they're observing the ego so much. They don't fully understand that that the spirit, the flesh that you gave birth, okay? You see, that spirit is the same, it's been around the same time as your spirit. Even though that spirit is in a body, this might know it sounds confusing. There's never really a beginning or an end to the spirit. It's always been around. In the physical body, it's going to present itself as an age, you know? So your mother, she's 35 and she gave birth. But the spirit, you understand? And her spirit, okay? I mean, there's really no age, but let's just say, to make it easier and simpler, what I'm trying to say, it's basically just they've been around the same time, okay? Yeah, but it's hard for a lot of people to take on that idea, especially in the Western culture. It's very hard. A lot of us, we're very authoritarian and very ego-minded about things. It's the truth. You know, this is not knock you down. I'm just telling you the flat-out truth. And then we kind of treat God over people, you know. I'm your mother, I'm your father, I gave birth to you. I'm like, I mean, if you really think about it, I'm like, if anyone say that, it's like, I can say this, God is always an expansion. So it kind of takes away all that stuff. You know, God is always, or consciousness is always expanded from the flesh, you know, from everything. Look at this rock down here. See this rock over here? The rock moves. You may not see it. Some rocks do move. But that rock that I'm standing on could be it basically becomes a sand, and then it becomes a big rock again. It just continues. You know? Every single matter of physically, okay, physically, anything, trees, everything, it just continues to expand. You understand? Everything. This is not a conventional way of thinking. I know this is kind of, I'm talking a little bit maybe outside of textbooks that we grew up in public school and all that stuff. But life continues, you know, and it feels great. It feels great to know that who I am, and that to know that there is no loss. But when we choose to feel like there's a loss, you're going through an experience, you know. Just be patient with yourself, everybody. I have to be patient with myself. I felt conflicted inside. I felt like I know better. I'm like, why am I grieving? I'm like, I reincarnated into this body from a different life altogether, different time space altogether. And I had to be patient. I'm going through my own experience, you know. And yeah. So anyway, I just want to say this real quick. So if you ever know anybody that have a life after life experience, and they see a being through a tunnel, or if you, let's just say if you ever go through this, I just want to say this. Remember, everybody, there's nothing separate from you to enslave you or to capture you or to, you know, keep in mind everything is suggested. You're going to suggest to yourself that, yes, I'm going to do something to you. But then you are ultimately powered to choose experience. You could choose to say to yourself, no, I'm not going to go through a horrible experience. I'm going to go through a better experience or something that I prefer, you know. So yeah, you know, that's just it, you know. I know it's going to sound corny to a lot of people because a lot of us, we by choice condition our minds to only focus on drama and that Rocky story, you know. We gotta I'll talk about that another time, about the Rocky story, but we're conditioned about drama, and there's always someone or something to come after you. It's just truly a game that we play. So anyway, I just want to close out, and you know, I'm glad I did this clip. I'm here in Central Park, and if you ever want to, if anybody hasn't been to New York, and if you want to go, you know, let's say if you're from a small town and a lot of people seem to be overwhelming you, I think Central Park would be a nice transition into kind of being around a lot of people. Central Park could be pretty crowded at times. You got to go at a particular time of the day or the week. Sundays sometimes can be busy, but if you go in the middle of the week and you got a lot of people working and everything, yeah, Central Park is pretty it's pretty slow, you know. But again, depends what's going on. Now it's the summertime, and then you transition yourself into Central Park, and then you embrace all these people. It's amazing. Yeah, I grew up here. Yep. Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad I did this, and I do my best to keep my clips real. You know, I have my take on things and what I've seen, what I experienced, and I just want to pass it on. So I just want to say a big thank you to anybody that's viewing my clips or subscribing to my channel. You know, I always, it's always an honor to do this, and yeah, I definitely love self-empowerment and just expressing how life is infinite and how we could live at our highest joy. So it's just great. I know my mother, she's always around. I know my other mother, she's always around, and who knows, any other mother that I have experience with from different lives. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I know I lived a life before Creso, you know. I'm talking about that dimension before I came into this dimension. And I'm very open-minded to that. I am. Because, again, we always been around. Always. So, anyway, that's all I have to say. Until then, I'll come back with another interesting topic. Take care.